Good morning and welcome to a new week where we get to look into Business AM. Of course, it's News Express right here on Africa Business Radio, proudly brought to you by Business AM, Nigeria's fastest growing financial and business newspaper. Topping the headlines of the paper this morning, experts, analysts weigh in on Nigeria's plan to chase taxpayers to bank accounts. Now, this one in particular is going to be a topic for conversation today with the publisher of Business AM. We have bullet headlines there. Pro-tax reformers say model from U.S. capitalist-oriented tax system. Challenge is lack of tech to drive it through. Over 40 million Nigerians unbanked. Country's low fintech a major setback. Federal government targeting to clear 4 trillion naira budget deficit. So with all of this, how possible will this be? Well, we'll take a look at that much later. Right under that headline, we have another one. The CBN sees light as Nigeria gradually unifies AFEX rates. CBN sees light as Nigeria gradually unifies AFEX rate. And moving to page 3 of the paper, Africa needs $16 billion for oil refining. Africa needs $16 billion for oil refining. The investment and finance segment of the paper, Nigeria's reserves still pressured. The energy, power and renewable on page 22. NNPC equity chase mimics Aramco. Finally, I'm just going to pick up one more and then we'll move over to our conversation. The commodities and agriculture segment, gold mine in timber reformation. That one's on page 24 of the paper. Now, I've got Mr. Philip Isapa, the publisher Business AM, joining me for conversations right now. Good morning, Mr. Philip. It's great to have you on the show. How was your weekend?
Yeah, good morning, Rachel. Good to be here. Weekend was good. I hope yours was good as well.
It was fantastic indeed. All right, let's get into the conversation now. Experts, analysts weighing on Nigeria's plan to chase taxpayers to bank accounts. Now, do you think that the plan will see the light of day? Because, for one, it says here that over 40 million Nigerians are unbanked. So how will this plan play out?
I think this stems from, Rachel, the conversation that has been going on for quite some time about tax to GDP ratio in Nigeria being on the low side compared to maybe South Africa and perhaps maybe Ghana or some other African countries, that because it is low and revenues have been quite tight for a number of years now, that oil has not been producing as much as it used to, especially with oil prices yo-yoing for the past many years. Now, government looking at all areas that it can get its revenue has been talking about taxes. Whether you talk about the number of people who pay tax, or you look at what they normally would call the tax net not being quite broad enough or not being quite wide enough, or whether you look at people who are dodging tax.
Right.
Recall, Rachel, that there was talk about of luxury tax some time ago. We don't know where that has gone so far. So but it's all in the quest to generate more revenues for the government. So taxes have been found to be one area where government wants to generate some revenue, especially with the deficit in the budget being very, very high. So what are they trying to do? They say, okay, how do we get the taxes? We will look for the taxes, since apparently there is a thinking that dodging tax is a mastercraft, in the economy. We would chase taxpayers to the bank accounts. So for instance, people, because of the nature of the economy now, where all monies are expected to be kept in the banking system, they feel that people earning money, will normally keep their monies in the banking system. And if you go to the bank accounts of these people, then you'll be able to know exactly what people are earning and then be able to get the taxes that you want, or ensure that people are not dodging taxes. But there are a number of things that experts told us, analysts told us over the weekend, regarding this, that it is particularly unlawful. It is a system borrowed from being borrowed from the United States. The model is taken from the United States tax system, where banks are, for instance, expected to provide certain information, that could help for government to chase people who might be dodging tax.
Right.
So there's a lot of challenges. We talked about the technology you need to get this going, which is lacking. You talked about the number of people who are unbanked, 40 million of those, but then you have to weigh that against the earnings that they are likely to be generating,
Yes.
for the purpose of taxation, So we have a low fintech environment, and again, you have to look at the environment, not just in terms of the quality and quantity of fintech technology or fintech system in the economy, but also in the fact that over some time you have had government has been very, very, very unfriendly to fintech organizations, and that's been a very big problem. So whether you see the story we talked about a 4 trillion budget deficit rising continuously. Been rising for a number of years now. And this what government has been trying to tackle, and then it's looking for money virtually in every corner of the economy that it can get, and this is what ways that it thinks it can do that. But there are ifs, there are buts to it, in the sense that legally it might be wrong, because experts have come to say, well, if this were to go on, the banks will be sued by bank account holders.
Yes.
And then so there's quite a lot to be cleared up in that respect.
Yeah, I came by some analysts talking about this in your paper, agreeing with the idea, saying that it goes with the U.S. capitalist-oriented tax model. Why some say that, it's not right and it is tantamount to stealing. Oh, well, we'll move away from that story now to the second story on the cover page, talking about CBN seeing the light as Nigeria gradually unifies apex rate. And Naira has depreciated by almost 163% to 412 Naira to the dollars of May 2021 from 156.7 Naira in 2011, which is very unimpressive. So what are the factors shaping exchange rate movements in 2021?
Well, Rachel, again, we go back in time. Recall that the Bretton Woods organizations, the IMF and the World Bank, I'm not saying that this is as a result of that, but we tried to get some money from them some time ago, and they told us that our exchange rate market isn't particularly normal, because you had an official exchange rate, and then you have a number of other exchange rate windows. You have the almost about three exchange rate regimes. But if we put that aside, recall also that even members of the organized private sector, whether you're talking about the LCCI, Lagos Chamber of Commerce, or you talk about Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, or NASIMA, they've all come out to say, it is not good for business, in the sense that businesses need to plan, and they need to plan based on a particular exchange rate, that they know that it's going to be a market-driven exchange rate, so to speak, So when we went to the World Bank to try to get some money, they said, oh, well, that is an area that you need to clear out, But recall, Rachel, we talked about this in one or two other programs in the past, where we looked at how the central bank was approaching it. We thought that we saw that they said they were not going to approach it in one fell swoop, that they were going to do this gradually, So over time, we have seen some systematic official devaluation of the currency, to match with the the general trend, whether you're talking about the unofficial street market or you're talking about the other windows that you have, say NAFEX or the general bureau de change system, So you had that going on, and then government was looking at this, where our so to call it, our hands are tied now because we went internationally to get some money, and they said no, that this is what needs to be done, So they approach this gradually, I think the thing is the fundamentals of the market, that the market has to shape exchange rate determination, but there was a tendency in official circle not to allow the market to govern, because if you I think the fear was that if you allow the market to rule or to govern this exchange rate currency determination, then you are going to have a situation where the naira was going to lose its grounds, and then become almost like a paper money, There were fears at some point, that if you did that, perhaps Zimbabwe was a near site, for the currency. So they've decided to go gradually. For a long time, the Central Bank of Nigeria used the forex, the external reserve to defend the currency, continuously defend the currency, which created an artificial rate, so to speak, because it wasn't going according to the market dictates. If you went to the street market, you will find that the exchange was trading far lower than what the official rate was, So they came up with this idea, as part of that movement, a certain kind of devaluation, you call it, because they took out that old official exchange rate of 379 or so, and then replace it with the NAFEX rate, and then completely took it out from the website of the central bank, So this is what people analysts are reacting to, that the CBN has seen the light, that you cannot beat the market. The market has to shape this kind of conversation or this kind of discussion regarding the rate of the exchange rate, especially when you have an economy that is buffeted on different sides by lack of good oil revenue, non-oil revenue, also impacted by the global economic situation, So they are beginning to allow the market to shape things, and that people are seeing this as positive. Analysts at some of the houses we spoke to, they said it will boost investors' confidence. Again, that is very important, because investors have always been complaining that they don't understand the market. What is the governing exchange rate? This is the only market where you have one rate official, one rate at NAFEX, one rate at the bureau de change level, and then the unofficial market, because it's currency trading is demand and supply, and your ability, the reserve that you have, even though government, the managers of the economy were trying to make sure that the naira did not lose value in such a way that it became almost useless, but there was a need for the market to shape what was going on, and we are beginning to see that happen. Over some time they have done one or two or three rate movement. You will see that in the story, and this is what it has come to. And the analysts are saying this looks good, but there are still uncertainties within the economy, and the economy will try to navigate those uncertainties or the tides of uncertainties, but the market will hold sway, and that the market is the right place to call rates, and let there be one rate that businesses understand, global investors understand. People who want to bring in money, they know at what rate they will bring in their money and at what rate they are likely to take their money out. So you cut out what some people probably see as the backdoor approach to currency management, that hasn't done the country any good.
Right. All right, Mr. Philip, we're just short for time at this point. We'll have to let you go. And we'll see how the stories on Business AM for this week develops. And I'll get back to you at the end of the week to keep us abreast with the recent developments. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Have a great day.
You too. And that was Philip Isakwa, the publisher, Business AM Nigeria's fastest growing financial and business newspaper. Bye for now.